All right, guys, let's just get into this. The Utah Jazz lost 2 in a row. They lost tonight to the Memphis Grizzlies. Jordan Clarkson got squared up with Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson. Let's watch it. It's the Hoops Nerd postgame show. All right, guys. Before we get into this, let's just get this out of the way. Our sponsor is Prize Picks. If you haven't already, go to prizepicks.com. Use promo code HoopsNerd. They match up to $100. You put $5 down. They will give you $5 of free $5 American currency. Go do it at prizepicks.com. Use promo code HoopsNerd. It also supports the channel, and I would appreciate it. All right, let's just get into this. Before we even talk about the Grizzlies, before we talk about the Jazz, let's talk about Jordan Clarkson. I'm going to share my screen, and let's just break down this fight between Jordan Clarkson and Desmond Bane. Let's see. Really quick. We're live. All right, let's pull this up. I'm going to make me smaller so that I don't block the thing. All right, here we go. So, earlier in this game, Desmond Bane had been taunting the Jazz, and I think specifically Jordan Clarkson. And Jordan Clarkson was getting tired of it, and so the fight ensued. So here we go. Desmond Bane comes up, and you might have missed it there. Watch closely. It's like the JFK footage. Watch Jordan Clarkson right here. Misses. Whap. He swipes him. Jaren Jackson comes up, and look, he's squared up. This is now twice this season that Jordan Clarkson has squared up on somebody, and it's amazing. I'm gonna start taking notes out of Jordan Clarkson's book, and if someone makes me mad, I'm just, per my last email, I'm doing that. You come at me, hey, why did you do this thing that I did not want you to do? Send. Someone trolls you in Twitter. All right, let's keep going. Jordan Clarkson squares up, gets pulled away the ref, and immediately starts laughing. He knows also that he was this is his second square up, and Jordan Clarkson knows it. Here, let's get it slow-mo here. Okay. That hand is back. There are bad intentions. Oh, wait, no, wrong hand. He right-handed him. So look, the punch starts here. Premeditated. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Jordan Clarkson with a swipe. Oh. Look at Jaren Jackson's reaction. He just witnessed a murder. That's the face of someone who just saw things go down. Immediately turns to Jordan Clarkson like, what's up? And I love Jordan Clarkson. Amazing. I love it. Pulled away. Jaren Jackson's like, what's going on? Jordan Clarkson's like, this is the third game in 4 nights, guys. This is the third game in 4 nights. 22 hours ago, we played another game that we lost. I've had it. All right, that was fun. Let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies are a very good basketball team. Tops in the West. I can't remember if they're number 1 in the Western Conference. Let's see. As of right now, they are number 1 in the Western Conference over Denver. They have the same records, but they must have the tiebreaker. The Memphis Grizzlies are a really good basketball team. Really deep, can do a lot of different things. Obviously, in this game, they get this win against the Jazz, who are really scuffling without Ja Morant. Dylan Brooks is not that efficient, but his defense shows up with that +5. Jaren Jackson is a high-level defensive player, and a lot of what this Memphis Grizzlies team is going to do is kind of, to me, based on Jaren Jackson. One, can he just stay healthy? Because we know he can do a lot of things. Like, this is a very good example of what Jaren Jackson's going to bring. 19 points, 5 blocks, 3 steals. I mean, look at these raw defensive stats. That's crazy. 8 rebounds. And the thing that's nice is he spreads the floor. 40% in this game from 3, 8 for 17 overall. But there's just so many nice things he can do. Xavier Tillman starts this game probably just because they needed to figure out a different rotation with Ja Morant. He's a nice player, honestly. A backup center that can step in and play in a game like this and do really well. Really solid defensive player, actually. And then we all know Desmond Bane, the bane of Utah Jazz fans' existence. Everyone on that draft night was just begging for Utah to make that draft, and they don't make it. And so the Grizzlies benefit. And now they have a borderline all-star in Desmond Bane, who is just an elite shooter. He is tough as could be. And look at this, 9 assists, 24 points with Ja Morant out, 6 rebounds. Just a awesome night for Desmond Bane. Tyus Jones is one of those players that's an underrated player in the league that not a lot of people talk about, but he is a nice backup point guard. Tonight he has a big night, 21 points, 4 steals. Look at that. I mean, they were just taking the ball from Kelly Olynyk all night, and then 6 assists. Just really solid stuff. Santi Aldama, solid player. Look at that, 2 for 4 from 3. John Conchar can shoot the ball, 1 for 2 from 3 tonight. Just, they're so deep. And then Zaire Williams, who was a lottery pick that I can't remember the exact details of that trade, but they tried to kind of, I believe they moved up to get him. And I don't know if it's really worked out, but man, this is someone that if they could also develop and he could become something, that would be nice. Let's talk about the Utah Jazz. We already talked about the fight. That was the best part. The other thing about this game that was kind of too bad was Kelly Olynyk leaves with a ankle injury. There was like Kelly Olynyk, you know, the Batman villain Two-Face. He was a little bit like that in this game, where you had really good stuff from Kelly Olynyk and then really bad. So you have like the 7 for 9 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3. He was finally hitting his threes, which is great. And honestly, when his offense is going like this, Utah's almost unstoppable offensively. 8 rebounds and 5 assists. This is really the thing that I think Kelly Olynyk does for the Jazz that I don't think get talked enough about, but the ball just moves when he's on the floor. But this right here is the rough part, is the 5 turnovers. I mean, this is killer. And it was a pretty close game. So these 5 turnovers, if he could just, I mean, it kind of goes against what Kelly Olynyk does, because he does so many things and he tries to draw charges. He does a lot of different things, but these 5 turnovers were just killer. But 19 points for Olynyk in a game they really needed him, because it was, like we said, 3rd game in 4 nights, back end of a back-to-back. They played 22 hours earlier. So, like, literally the earliest they could set this Jazz game is what they did. Jared Vanderbilt, 3 for 6 from the field, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, doing Jared Vanderbilt things, 12 points, and a +1 in a Jazz loss. So he was pretty nice. Jordan Clarkson, 6 for 12 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and 1 square up. 1 effective square up that got him ejected. But 17 points and 3 assists. Finally, can we talk about Mike Conley a little bit? It's not really coming around. Ever since that injury, it's just the impact is not quite there. 7 points, 8 assists. I'm sure he enjoyed his reunion with Memphis, but you know, it's been so long at this point that he's been kind of locked in as a Jazz player for a while now. Walker Kessler, like we said, just awesome. He had that first quarter where he had 5 blocks in the first quarter. He is just kind of becoming an incredible asset for this Utah Jazz team, and I wonder if he has a really nice second half. He's probably going through a little bit of rookie wall stuff, figuring out how to impact games. He's playing a lot of players for the first time, and so you could probably see him next, second half of the season, and then next season really playing much better, because you just learn how to play with certain players. You learn a little more about the offense, just getting more acclimated. But as a rookie and putting up this kind of numbers and impacting the game the way he's doing, I mean, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 6 blocks. Holy smokes, that's good stuff. So I'm just impressed with Walker Kessler. This is craziness and fun, and it's impressive what he's doing as a rookie. Nickeil Alexander-Walker got minutes tonight. 11 points, 4 assists. He's turning out to be just a nice, solid rotation player for the Jazz, and someone they probably keep around for a while. I mean, why would you get rid of him? You know that he can come in, if he's like your 13th or 12th, 13th guy, he can come in when there's injuries and put up numbers like this. Great. And if he develops even more, then that's exciting. Then you've got someone that can come in and really produce as a backup point guard. Why can't Nickeil Alexander-Walker be on the same level as like a Tyus Jones, and do these things that Tyus Jones is doing? We've seen that he can do these things, and he started being more and more consistent. Christian House money to Haas, member for 16 months. My man, Christian. This is all starting to seem intentional. So many close games, and the rotations Hardy's is making at the end of games is interesting. All right, I'll just talk about it. We've already gone through the players. Oh, let me just finish, and then I'll talk about it. Ochai Agbaji is getting more minutes. Tonight did not have as big of an impact, although it was his first back end of a back-to-back, so who knows? Maybe that was part of it. He did have 3 rebounds. He took 2 shots, and that's it in 21 minutes. So, I don't know. I'm just so happy Ochai's getting minutes, you know? I really am. Now, back to Christian's idea. I actually am starting to think Will Hardy might be in on this, because I think I agree. There's starting to be some rotations that don't always make sense. The fact that Rudy Gay plays, I know the defensive numbers, and look at that. Yet again, positive plus minus. And like we say, it's for defense. If you have a question why Rudy Gay plays, the offense is not good. Although tonight it was decent enough, but it's for defensive reasons. That's why he plays. That's it. And if you have any questions about it, go splurge your allowance money and go sit on like row 15 and go see how big Rudy Gay is. He's huge. He is huge. He's so much bigger than you realize. And that size paired with Walker Kessler is why he plays. You know, and he only plays 13 minutes, but those minutes with Walker Kessler are solid defensive minutes. And for a team that really struggles to defend, aren't you going to play a guy that impacts the game defensively? I'm going to adjust my legs. All right. So that's why. But anyways, there are times, though, where it's bad. The offensive stuff is terrible. It's not very good. Tonight was solid. But, you know, you're putting him in as a defensive player, and that's it at this point, because he just doesn't really do a lot for you offensively consistently. And like I said, I think Will Hardy might be in on it. I think that at this point they're trying to develop players. I wonder if at one point it's not necessarily tanking, you know, and we always use that word, but these might be more development minutes, where I think they've probably talked with these guys and said, we're going to start developing guys. I honestly think the timeline of Ochai Agbaji is when it's like really hit, because he's really playing. And Will Hardy made a statement like 3-4 games ago where he said, Ochai Agbaji is going to play. And so Ochai Agbaji is playing, and those are development minutes. And there's like going to be nights like tonight where Ochai doesn't do a ton, but then there'll be other nights where you see him do things where he goes 7 for 7 from the field and looks like a lottery pick and a really nice piece for the Jazz in the future. So I don't think it's necessarily tanking. I think the Jazz have converted to development, and development tends to coincide with tanking, you know? Sometimes it doesn't, though. Like, right now the Jazz are sitting pretty because they lost another game. The Lakers now leapfrogged the Jazz. The Jazz are now sitting at number 10 in the lottery. And if the Jazz can somehow get to like 6 and get a player in that level, then guess what? They're going to be even more development minutes next year. And you're probably going to see even more trades. And you're going to see the Jazz playing lots of young players, because they will have 3 first-round picks next year. And they probably want some of these guys to develop the second half of this season so that they can continue to develop next season. So, Walker Kessler, Ochai Agbaji, and some of these younger players. Lauri Markkanen will be the cornerstone of this team for the next 2-3 years, for sure. We'll see if Jared Vanderbilt's on the team. It kind of depends on trade deadline. Do the Jazz get a monster offer or something really nice for Jared Vanderbilt? Maybe. I think that a lot of these guys, I think it just kind of depends on what the offer is. I think Jordan Clarkson's probably getting moved. Some of this body language from tonight with the fight and stuff is funny, but I think it's also kind of related to the contract. Like, it's stressful to be in contract negotiations, you know? Jordan Clarkson wants to go out there and perform because he wants to get a big contract. That's why he's turned down the contract from the Jazz. He wants to look good, and he wants to get big-time money. Next free agency, I don't believe is all that great. So that's good news for Jordan Clarkson, because he's going to be one of the premier free agents. And so he's going to want to look good. And when someone like Desmond Bane makes him look bad or something like that, doesn't like it, you know? So anyways, but I think some of these trades that are probably going to happen before trade deadline are going to be for some of these vets. I think Malik Beasley is going to get traded. There's just too many national guys talking about it and trade scenarios about it. Like Zach Lowe spent a whole podcast about Malik Beasley trades. When they're doing that, that means they're hearing things. So I wouldn't be surprised if Malik Beasley is traded. We've heard rumors about Jared Vanderbilt. I wouldn't be surprised if he's moved, although I could also see him on the Jazz next year. Jared Vanderbilt, to me, gets moved if someone gives them a nice offer. If someone says, hey, we'll give you like a nice first-round pick and a reclamation player or something like that, then I think the Jazz do that. Like, honestly, the Grizzlies, if the Grizzlies came with like an unprotected first in the future or something like that, and like Zaire Williams, and they wanted Jared Vanderbilt, then they probably do that. I'm not saying that's something they would do. Or the same with like Malik Beasley, By the way, the Grizzlies were a team that Zach Lowe talked about. He said that he didn't have any reports about that, but it was just a team he thought could use someone like Malik Beasley, and I think it makes sense. Malik Beasley can just light it up. Tonight, the numbers weren't quite there, but for the season, he is shooting the lights out. Stats for Beasley for the year, 36%. So they've dipped a little bit, but he's had points in the season where he's been at 40% and just an absolute lights out shooter. So I could see it. I could see them wanting Malik Beasley or one of these win now guys. Kelly Olynyk turned his ankle, so if we're talking trades and you're trying to trade Kelly Olynyk, that doesn't help. Trade deadline is February 9th, so that didn't help his trade value. And I believe he has a contract. He has 1 year left on his contract, so we'll see. Or he might be gone, so I don't know. But basically, that's everything I've got tonight, guys. I did want to mention it looks like it's time for the Jazz really to just focus on development. They have lost. So if we go to the standings now, let's do this. If we go to the standings, Utah is now below the Lakers. And 20 and 23, they have lost 3 of their last 7. They have lost 2 in a row. I know tonight was kind of a schedule loss, but things are just trending that way. They started the season 10 and 3, and since then they're net rating of like minus 7 or 8 games. So not great. And so when you go to here and you look at the team rankings, Utah is now, look at that, 9th. Ooh, I thought before I started the show they were 10th. The Jazz sit at number 9 in the lottery. If the season ended now and you just ended with a number 9 pick, that's pretty good. If you look at this mock draft, number 9 is Jarris Walker, who's a huge power forward who plays in Houston. There's some things to really like about him. But if you can somehow get to 6 to 8, if they can get in this range, and I could see them leapfrogging Oklahoma City. They already have more losses than Oklahoma City. That's the crazy thing. Here's what's crazy. Utah has 23 losses, which is tied for like these 2 teams right here. So, and Toronto and Washington are trying. Toronto is, they're having a really weird year, but they're trying, and Washington is trying. And so if the Jazz could somehow get to number 6, you see yourself getting someone like Ausar Thompson, who is an incredible athlete, insane athlete, like Vince Carter style athlete. I cannot tell you the athleticism of these 2 guys is insane. And if there's a world where the Jazz somehow jump but get number 3 Amen Thompson, these 2 guys want to play each other or with each other. They want to be on the same team if they can. It's not likely. But you know who could make that happen? The Utah Jazz. Because they have 2 picks. They have the Minnesota Timberwolves pick, which is right now there, and their own pick. And let's say the Jazz somehow get lucky and jump and get like the number 3. Then what if you say, hey, we're going to trade with you guys. We're going to give you a couple firsts and a nice young player, and we want Ausar Thompson. And then the Jazz have their wings for the next 10 years. And that would be incredible. Wouldn't that be incredible? Like, incredible. Christian House Money to Haas, $5, my man. Thank you, my friend. Jazz lose, but you win. Thanks for your consistency, James. You bet, guys. I feel bad when I don't get on here. I'm here every night, and tonight was a recap on SLC Dunk. You can go read it. I actually documented the Jordan Clarkson. I'm going to start doing social videos about stuff like that. But anyways, you can go read that. But then I do this. One thing I have really enjoyed, just personal, I have my 4 kids, and I put them to bed tonight before the video, so that's why there was a little delay. Sorry. But I played Marvel Alliance on the Switch with my kids, 4-player co-op with my kids. The best. The best. If you want to know like things about you dreamed about when you like first had kids, this was it, and it's amazing. And I love it, and it makes me happy. So I played Marvel Alliance. Yeah, I unlocked Doctor Strange tonight, and I am now Doctor Strange. My one daughter is excited to get Storm when we get her. My other player plays Elsa Bloodstone for now, but I think we're gonna get someone else. She doesn't really found the. And my boy, he loves right now. He loves Deadpool. Anyways, back to basketball, guys. I think that's pretty much it for tonight. But guess what? The Utah Jazz have the number 9 pick, which is amazing. And I can tell you right now. Let's see. Let me turn on my headphones here. I can tell you right now, and you guys, I don't think you heard that. My headphones talk to me when I turn them on. Maybe you heard it. Maybe you didn't. Anyways, Utah is the number 9 pick, but this player, G.G. Jackson, who's really fun, 6'9", huge. I think you could somehow get someone like that. There's going to be guys that also rise in this draft. That's the crazy thing. Is like once this, March Madness happens, you're going to see some players kind of rise in the draft. This draft is crazy. And you know what's really nice is having someone like Danny Ainge who is consistently drafted well at the top. You could argue he hasn't done as great in the middle and the back end, but when he's been at the top of the draft, he has hit on those picks. All right, let's do our draft real quick. Our lottery, the Utah Jazz sit at number 9. Currently, Minnesota is at number 14, so the Jazz have number 9 and 14. Pretty good. Here we go. The Lakers jump us, even though we jumped them. Knocks us down to 10. Son of a gun. Oh, man, look how many people jumped in this one. That hurt my feelings. That means we end up with Anthony Black, shooting guard, small forward, 6'7", from Arkansas. Makes me want to watch him. I think, isn't Nick Smith? Yeah, you got Nick Smith Jr. playing on Arkansas and Anthony Black. Looks like we should go watch some Arkansas games, guys. Arkansas, Arkansas, I just love old Arkansas. Love my mom, love my pa, I just love old Arkansas. All right, so let's see. Yeah, by the way, Nick Smith Jr., he is smooth with it. This guy is like, he's going to play point guard. He's 6'5". He kind of is a wiry guy, a little like Jordan Clarkson. But, man, you can see it with him as a point guard. He's not going to have like the flash, or no one has the flashbang value of Victor Wembanyama. No one. And Scoot Henderson is easily the number 2. There's no question. He's awesome. And Amen Thompson, I would take Amen Thompson number 3 because the upside is bonkers. But Nick Smith Jr. is kind of like a sure thing to me for a starting point guard that will do really well for you. He's pretty interesting. So go check him out. He just does everything really well. Shoots it, handles it, floaters. He's a really nice passer. That's what's really interesting about him. And he moves the handle. I mean, he just kind of can do everything. So I could see him being a high level. I don't know if there's a massive upside with him, but there is a massive floor, if that makes sense. Like, this guy is going to be awesome. Whether he's like, all NBA, I don't know. But he's going to be a very good starting level point guard. Anyways, lots of fun. The Jazz things are going well. Let's give a shout out to our All-Stars. Okay. All right. Let's give a shout out to See Ya, Lexa Later, Bill Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jared Chanderville, Shan Therick, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de Bajo, Baby Elliott Madsen, Jordan the GOAT, Best Rule, Just Buckets, JB, Zach Watts, TGD, Total Game Domination, Christian, House Money to Haas. Thank you for the donation again tonight, Christian, and the consistency. Thank you for guys consistently watching, honestly. Tyson Price, The Price is Right, my man. X marks the spot for Zintis. Joshua Hansen, the Danish Destroyer. Ezekiel Raisibe, the man from down under. Austin R. Grant, editor extraordinaire. Donald Schooley, schooling all of us. DW to CB, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer. Patrick Kubo, the connoisseur. And Robert, Hall of Fame. Guys, if you haven't already... Oh, and I updated Chrome, I guess. Did I? It may have done it on its own. But guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're a Jazz fan, you're here right now, subscribe. Do it. Click it. go click on go to Prize Picks, use promo code HoopsNerds, sign up for an account at Prize Picks, and go put $5 down. It's fun. You'll get a kick out of it. And do it on Fridays. Just do it on Fridays. It's free $20 bets. $20 free. Just do it. It's fun. Anyways, guys. And you can join the channel. Become an all-star. Be a part of the team here on the Hoops Nerds channel. I would appreciate it. Guys, I will talk to you next time.